Welcome to the Original Gangsters podcast. I'm your host, Scott Burnstein. On a quick hitter edition, we're going to go out to Philadelphia and I guess South Florida to discuss some current events in the Bruno Scarfo clan. We reported exclusively on our companion web magazine, The Gangster Report, about some new issues that have been percolating between the Philly Mafia and the five families in New York. Some, appears to be some residual animosities from the Skinny Joey Marino podcast controversy. It looked like that had kind of all been put behind everybody, but based on some stuff that I've been hearing, there might be some lingering issues, and that those issues reared their head Super Bowl weekend. For the first time in a while, a lot of the New York families that Philly deals with in the gambling sector wouldn't take their layoff action for the Super Bowl. I'm told that this was based on two separate factors. They ended up getting the layoff help they needed from the Lucchese's, but if it wasn't for the Lucchese's and the strong relationship that they have with that New Jersey Lucchese wing, it could have been dicey. Gambinos, Genovese, and Bonanos would not take any layoff volume from the Philly mob-connected bookmakers, according to my sources. And this had to do with kind of two factors. One, the Joey Merlino factor, and the belief from a lot of the shot callers in those three families that I just mentioned, that maybe things in Philadelphia aren't rounding into shape in relation to Merlino being not just verbally pushed out of the way or exiled, but there might be, I'm trying to be delicate with the way I report this. I think some of the New York families believe that it's a lot of lip service and not necessarily follow through. And I know that's difficult for a group of guys that are best friends with Joey Merlino, and have been best friends since they were, in elementary school. And we've always said that, the bond that those guys have is more to each other than it is to LCN. That said, business is business. And Merlino kind of made his own bed and is having to sleep in it now. We reported that he, kind of voluntarily stepped away with some pressure from New York and some other guys in his family. And then about 5-6 months later, he was officially had his stripes pulled and was told that he's not being recognized anymore as a member of LCN because of the continuing podcasting and talking shop and bashing anybody and everybody, and just the belief is it's unbecoming of a mob don, and he's no longer a mafia don, and he's been told by people, I think, in Philly and New York, that he won't be able to get his stripes back or be recognized again until he gets off the internet. That was one of the reasons that the takeoff action wasn't accepted. And then another reason, which is more logistical and business related, is that because Philly was in the Super Bowl, and because the fan base in Philly is very rabid and very loyal, there was a lot of action. Overwhelming majority of the action coming on, being bet on Philly, and the guys in New York didn't want to take the risk. Didn't want to help out, alleviate the risk. So, last thing I'll say Um, Merlino keeps firing on again anybody and everybody, and since I covered Joey Merlino, I kind of have to mention this. He attacked his brother-in-law, Joey Bonfiglio, in a recent episode of The Skinny, which he's moved now officially from YouTube to Patreon. We were the first media outlet to report on who Joey Bonfiglio is, aka Joey B. We reported about 2 years ago that he had come on the scene in some point in the last decade, and was married to Joey's sister, and became Joey's mouthpiece in South Philly, with Joey down in South Florida. We reported that he developed a close relationship with former acting boss, consigliere Uncle Joe Legambi, and was a driver for him. We reported that he traces his roots to Queens, and as a young boy was a gopher for the Gottis. Has a lot of respect in New York for the Five Families for a really young guy. Kind of his rabbi up there is Tommy Monk Sassano, Queens Capo, and the Gambinos. He's also close to the Basciano crew out of the Bronx with the Bananos. We didn't know. We wrote an article recently about the current structure of Philly, and we reported that we didn't know where Joey B stood after Merlino had been ousted. So I guess this gives us some illumination of that particular situation. It looks like Joey Merlino and his brother-in-law are not on good terms. Joey called Joey B. Joey Merlino called his brother-in-law Joey B. A junkie and a rat. Insinuated that he was going to go to the FBI and join the witness protection program. I don't know where Bonfiglio stands in the crime family. And we reported that. But it looks pretty obvious that he doesn't stand with Joey, and it looks like he doesn't stand with the guys in Philly that are still perceived to be Joey loyalists. And some of that loyalty, we're told, is upsetting the apple cart in New York, and they want more separation, more distance between Merlino and his longtime friends in Philadelphia, who when they're in the presence of the New York guys, are very quick to defend themselves and say that they've done all that they could do, and that Joey has been exiled. But there's a lot of rumors making their way back to New York that there's still communication, and there's still a relationship there, and there has not been a complete break. And I think that's what they want as further pressure to get Joey off the internet. As we've always said, Joey Merlino, he marches the beat of his own drummer. He gives zero fucks, less than zero fucks, what anybody's going to say to him. And that's the beauty of Joey Merlino. And I've predicted, and I've written about it, and I've said it on here, that we haven't heard the end of Joey Merlino, and exiled or not exiled, boss or no boss. This guy is, the epitome of resilience and being relentless, and being lucky. Breaks seem to always fall his way, and I don't think that we've seen the end of him in the Philly mob, or really, I don't think we've seen the end of him in the boss's seat. I think eventually he will make it back there. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not next week. But I think in the next decade, if he's not locked up for the rest of his life, which I don't anticipate, he will be boss again in Philadelphia. But right now, there are issues. And it looks like him and his brother-in-law are fighting right now. I don't know what that means. but we had not heard Merlino fire on guys within his own crime family. A lot of the or current members of his crime family. We'd seen a lot of a lot of shade being thrown at cooperators and guys in other crime families, former members of other crime families, but never to anybody in his own family, crime family, or real family. Because this is, I think, Joey B checks both boxes, even though we don't know for sure if Bonfiglio is even made. We don't really know what position officially he had. We just know that for a nice chunk of time with Merlino down in South Florida, he was using his brother-in-law to handle his business in South Philly. But so we'll see. I think that the New York guys, they're sending word that this needs to be tightened up a little bit before everything's copacetic. Some loose ends need to be cut, and in terms of getting everybody on the same page and being true to the edict, which is that Merlino should not be recognized. And I'm being told that some of the guys in New York feel like he's getting a little bit too much deference after he got his stripes pulled, and that might have played a role in the Super Bowl Sunday issues, and also it is playing a role with some of this internal squabbling. And I know the guys in New York did not like hearing that last week when Joey Merlino started bad-mouthing his brother-in-law, who, from what we understand from people in New York and other places, is a guy that's in good standing with people. So we'll see how that works itself out. Original Gangsters podcast, Scott Burnstein. Please like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. We're here giving you your true crime fix 24/7, always giving you the latest breaking news when it comes to the North American underworld. Original Gangsters podcast, uncovering the underworld, one city, one region, one country at a time. I'm out.